What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nabi Podcast for another Breaking Sports Report. I am Sani Nabi, and I will be your host this evening. Sticking to the usual sport of basketball, at the moment, as we saw, the Atlanta Hawks beat the Philadelphia 76ers in Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Semifinals to send themselves to the Eastern Conference Finals now to be matched up against the Milwaukee Bucks, who also won their own Game 7 against the Brooklyn Nets. This was the first year that the Atlanta Hawks made it to the playoffs just in general since the 2016-17 season, where they lost to the Wizards 2-4 in the very first round. But for 10 straight years from 2007, the 2007-2008 season to the 2016-17 season, they made the playoffs every year in between, every year straight. They even made it to the Eastern Conference Finals in 2014-15 season, but they was swept by LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers, who we would see ultimately win their city's first NBA championship ever that year. But for the next few years, the Hawks, they were just on rebuild mode. The issue was they just did not strike any gold until 3 years ago in 2018, where they used their number 5 draft pick to choose Trae Young, the smallest statured point guard out of Oklahoma Sooners. In Trae Young's first year, there was talks where, there was worries and talks that he was just like too small for the league, and, he could get hurt with the intense style that he plays in, you know what I mean? But Trae ended his rookie year with just over 19 points and played and started in 81 of the 82 season games. But it was the next season where Trae made all of us realize that, he was going to be all right in the NBA, and averaged a whole 10 more points, ending the season averaging 29 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists a game in his second year. That's unheard of. Although they did not have a great ending record, the Hawks did not make the playoffs again, just like his rookie year. Then this 2020-21 season starts, and we saw the Hawks make some tremendous moves. At least in my eyes, they made some tremendous moves where they added the big man and rebounding monster Clint Capella from the Houston Rockets, added sharpshooting Bogdanovic from the Bucks, and also added the veteranship of Lou Williams and Danilo Gallinari. Before the season started, I would just look at the lineup. I would just look at the lineup, me personally, and I just knew right away that this team would be a sleeper, and you cannot sleep on this team in the season. And funny enough, nobody believed it. Nobody listened to anything I said, and they was laughing. Everyone was laughing at me. But guess what? But fast forward to the end of the regular season, we saw the Atlanta Hawks finish with a 41 win and 31 loss record and put themselves in the 5th seed of the Eastern Conference, being matched up with the 4th seeded New York Knicks team, who also ended with the same exact record of 41 and 31. All throughout the season, the Knicks, they showed how different they were, this season compared to the last prior ones, and made everyone recognize and take note. Led by the league's most improved player of the season, Julius Randle, and the coach of the year, Tom Thibodeau, me and majority of the sports world thought that, possibly this could be the year the Knicks finally make an impact in the playoffs after being kept out more years than the Hawks recently have. But once the playoffs started, man, the Knicks unfortunately became victim of themselves and just did what the Knicks do, which is fall apart. And this time in the playoffs against the Hawks, losing the series 4-1, and only game they won was Game 2. As stated before, I was for sure worried, worried for the Hawks in that matchup before the series started. But if you have been an avid reader of my articles on NewsBreak, then you may have seen the one article I wrote a few weeks ago that was titled "The 2 Dark Horse Teams in Each Conference That You Cannot Sleep On." And guess what? My choice for the East side was Atlanta Hawks. So as I did have a little worrying before the team in the matchup, I was not, I was ready to not be surprised at all if the Hawks moved on. And they did. After moving on to the second round, the team was now matched up to face the number 1 team in the East, the Philadelphia 76ers, who also beat the Washington Wizards in the first round 4-1. If there was no worry with the Hawks playing the Knicks in the first round, then you already know that there was in this round, when they were playing a super well-rounded team of the 76ers, led by MVP contender and runner-up Joel Embiid, and Defensive Player of the Year runner-up Ben Simmons. In Game 1, we saw the Hawks come into Philly and just hit them with a very quick first punch and take the win by just 4 points. In that game, we saw Trey score 35 with 10 assists and 2 rebounds. And on the other side, we saw Joel Embiid score 39 with 9 rebounds and 4 assists. Game 2 and 3 was where we saw, the more predictable outcomes happen, where the 76ers took Game 2 by 16 points, with the end score being 118 to 102. Embiid scored 40 points there and had 11 rebounds. And Game 3, where the Hawks once again lost by another 16 points with the end score of 127 to 111. This time, Embiid scoring 27 points, but it was a whole team scoring effort that really won this game for the 76ers. Trey, on the other hand, ended with a 28-point game in that losing effort. Going into Game 4, I thought possibly the series was all but over, honestly. Going into halftime, we saw the 76ers have a 13-point lead right there. But just like in the last game, how the 76ers just had a complete scoring effort, it was the Hawks that did this time and stormed back to outscore the 76ers by 11 in the third quarter. And then 5 in the fourth quarter, which gave the Hawks the win by just 3 points this time, with a score of 103 to 100, which now tied the series 2-2. Game 5 was insanely similar to Game 4, and the 76ers took a big 22-point lead heading into the halftime. But once again, it was the resilience and the team chemistry that willed the Hawks back into the game, where they outscored the 76ers by 4 in the third quarter, and then by 21 in the fourth quarter to steal the incredible upset comeback and win the game just by 3 points once again, which is very ironic. Trey had an incredible 39-point outing on the Hawks, and on Philly's side, Joel Embiid had 37 points, and Seth Curry had a shocking 36 points for him. But that just was not enough for the Sixers to keep hold of the lead and get the win. Game 6, there was little to no doubt, in my eyes at least, that the 76ers would not go out without a legit fight and would send this series to Game 7. But in the beginning of the game, we saw the Hawks outscore the 76ers by 7 in that first quarter, but then get outscored by 3 in the second quarter, which took them to halftime with a lead 51-47. As the game progressed, we saw the 76ers take the lead back by outscoring the Hawks in both the third and fourth quarter, taking the win by 5 points in Atlanta, and the end score was 104-99, setting the series to Game 7, as I predicted. With Game 7 going back to Philly, you knew the crowd was going to be, wild and crazy, and that it was. In the first quarter, we saw the 76ers outscore the Hawks 28-25, but just to run out of steam in the second quarter and only score 18 and get outscored by the Hawks 23-18, which gave the Hawks a 2-point lead going into the halftime. In the second half, it was very back and forth though, but it was the Hawks who outscored the 76ers in both of those last 2 quarters. 28-25 in the third quarter and 27-25 in the fourth quarter to take the win and end the series in front of the stunned Philly crowd, with the score ending at 103-96. Embiid was the game's high scorer with 31 and 11 rebounds. 31 points and 11 rebounds. Tobias Harris had 24 points himself and even had 14 rebounds. Seth Curry had 16 points to his name, but the spotlight for the 76ers' downfall was mainly on the point guard Ben Simmons. He had a horrible game where he only had 5 points on 2 of 4 shot attempts, and he only took 3 total field goals in all of the fourth quarters in this whole Game 7, in this whole 7-game series. In 7 games, in 7 fourth quarters, he only took 3 attempts. Made all 3, but that's just ridiculous. And that's also, that's also a story and a video for another day. But this video is about the Atlanta Hawks, and they are now headed back to the Eastern Conference Finals after 5 long years. What I will end this video with is a congratulations to the Atlanta Hawks and the Atlanta Hawks fan base for making it. And I will also leave you guys with a friendly, I told you so. But, alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Follow us if you haven't already for the latest sports news and content. Leave a thumbs up, follow the page on NewsBreak, or if you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a thumbs up there too. And, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts. And, I'll see you guys with the next breaking news video. See ya.